Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association. If you have a news topic or event that you would like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 970-677-4119. Today's show is Tuesday's show, which runs at noon and is uploaded to our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, so you can watch it on demand, or you can watch the replays at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. on the same day. Today is Tuesday, November 5th, 2019. And now the news at noon. The Journal reports on the county and state voting. Ballots are due in today by 7 p.m. for Dolores County. There's a drop box in front of the courthouse. Dolores County ballot has 2 state propositions and 3 school board seat elections. Voters will decide on local and state issues and choose school board members Tuesday in Montezuma County as well, as reported in the Journal. However, they have several local issues they face on their ballot this year. With ballot issue 4A, Montezuma-Cortez School District RE1 is seeking a property tax increase in part to raise teachers' salaries. With ballot issue 6A, the Cortez Fire Protection District is asking voter permission to offset revenue losses from changes to the percentage of actual assessed property valuations by increasing its operating mill levy beginning in 2021. And the Mancos RE6 and Dolores RE4A school districts have contested board elections. In Mancos, 3 board seats are open. The terms for directors Pamela A. Copinger and Timothy J. Hunter are up, and both are seeking re-election. The third open seat was held by former treasurer Ed Wertner, who resigned to take a job with the district. Candidates for the 3 open seats include Hunter Copinger, Nick Manning, Teresa J. Jukes, Bridget Jabor, Katie Cahill Volpe, Adam F. Priestley, and Gina Love. My apologies if I pronounced any of those wrong. In Dolores, 6 candidates are running for 3 open seats on the RE4A Board of Education in November. Terms are up for board members Deanna Trulson and Vanjie McCoy. The 3rd seat is held by Treasurer Lynette Scholl, who was appointed to serve out a board vacancy, and she is running to retain her seat. The candidates running are Scholl, Joe Spark Reed, Phil Casper, Clay Talmadge, Megan Crowley, and Alex Prime. Voters will also determine the fate of 2 state questions on the ballot. Proposition CC asks voters to allow the state to keep all the tax revenue it collects after June 2019 that the state's Taxpayers' Bill of Rights or TABOR would otherwise send back to residents as refunds. Proposition DD asks voters for state taxes to be increased by $29 million annually to fund state water projects and to pay for the regulation of sports betting through licensed casinos by authorizing a tax on sports betting. It is too late to mail in your ballot. They must be dropped off at a ballot box by 7 p.m. Tuesday, November 5th. That's today. Statistically, the Monday before Election Day has the highest rate of ballot returns. All 4 24-hour drop-off boxes are open in Montezuma County, including Dolores Town Hall, Mancos Town Hall, Ute Mountain Tribal Headquarters in Toyac, and at the Montezuma County Clerk's Office. And again, all boxes close at 7 p.m. and there is 1 box for us in Dolores County right out in front of the courthouse. And reported in the Journal with photos by Patrick Armijo, a mobile home south of Dolores was destroyed in a fire shortly before 5 p.m. on Monday. The owner, Josh Archuleta, said his wife, Heather, and the couple's 5 children were home and escaped uninjured. Quote, "I'm just thankful no one was hurt," he said. Archuleta said he was at work when the fire broke out, but his wife and children were in the mobile home at 14540 Colorado Highway 145 when the blaze started. Archuleta said that the fire started after one of his sons found a lighter and was playing with it in his bedroom. Quote, "If my trailer was going to burn down, I thought it would be from the wood stove. I never imagined this," he said. Several friends and family members have offered Archuleta a place to stay for the night, and Victims Advocate was on the scene to coordinate help for the family with the American Red Cross. Quote, "Everything I own was in that trailer," Archuleta said. Archuleta said that the family's pets, 2 dogs and 2 cats, also were not harmed in the fire. However, he said the trailer appeared to be a complete loss. The Dolores Fire Department was still on the scene of the fire late into Monday night. And crates and old furniture broke out in flames shortly after 7 p.m. Monday at Town and Country Furnishings. That's at 38 North Linden Street in Cortez. Not necessarily the kind of advertising they want. The fire was limited to crates and old furniture on the back of the loading dock, said firefighters at the scene. The building itself did not burn. Firefighters reported to a Cortez dispatcher. 2 fire engines responded to the downtown store about 7:05 p.m. and reported crews had knocked down the flames by 7:10. However, a power pole had caught fire and Empire Electric Association was called to the scene. Dispatch said the fire was reported by a resident who lives a couple of blocks away. And a fire prevention notice to remember that if you need your chimney cleaned out here in Dove Creek, contact the Sheriff's Office or the Dove Creek Volunteer Fire Department, and someone locally will be able to come out for free and take care of that for you as a way to help prevent house fires this winter. You probably already know that the Dove Creek Bulldogs were beaten last Friday night at a tough game at our home game, but they're headed now to the playoffs, as reported in the Journal with a photo by Sam Green. On a night in which temperatures dipped into the mid-20s and the majority of fans watched from the warm confines of their trucks, the Mancos High School and Dove Creek High School football teams staged one of the most physical contests in recent memory. With each crushing hit and each bone-rattling block, the intensity on the field increased, and when the clock finally expired on November 1st, with Mancos leading 14-6, players on both sides sported blood on their jerseys and bruises on their bodies. While little separated the two 8-man foes during 4 quarters of play, 2 first-quarter touchdowns by the Blue Jays and 3 second-half turnovers by the Bulldogs proved to be the difference as Mancos improved its record to 8-1 and Dove Creek fell 5-4 overall. Quote, "We kept with our system and we ran power football," Mancos quarterback Brecken Morelli said. "Even when our power game wasn't working, we continued playing solid defense, and that was big." Although the game's final result was anything but certain until the final seconds of the 4th quarter, the opening quarter had the feel of a Blue Jays blowout as Mancos dictated play on both sides of the ball. Mancos' first score of the game came on its opening offensive possession when Morelli tossed a 29-yard touchdown pass to sophomore running back Chase Moore with 9 minutes and 22 seconds left in the opening quarter. The touchdown strike came on a 4th and 3 play that started with a play-action fake and ended with Morelli having a long strike to a wide-open Moore down the left sideline. A 3-yard run by Moore on the ensuing 2-point conversion put Mancos ahead 8-0. The Blue Jays' second touchdown came with 2 minutes and 31 seconds left in the first quarter. Senior running back Anthony Medina caught a 28-yard pass, and Moore later raced into the end zone from 6 yards out to put his team ahead 14-0. Quote, "We're a power football team. I hope that's what we're known for, but we're working on our passing game, and we want to be a dual threat team," said Morelli. "Our passing game was huge tonight." While the Blue Jays' second touchdown of the contest seemingly set the stage for a blowout, Dove Creek players remained poised throughout the waning moments before breaking through with 6 minutes and 22 seconds in the second quarter on a 39-yard run by sophomore quarterback Corbin Kressler. Keying Kressler's run was a block by junior center Austin Beanlin at the point of attack and a perfectly timed right-to-left cut by Dove Creek's signal caller that allowed him to break free in the open field and narrow his team's deficit to 14-6. Quote, "We faced a little adversity in the first quarter with a couple of early penalties, and we got down a couple of scores," Dove Creek head coach Shane Boffman said. "The way that our players battled back showed their heart and their never give up attitude that I appreciate that." With the game hanging in the balance throughout the second half, players on both sides came through with several key defensive plays, including 2 interceptions by Mancos Jr. Christian Kova and fumble recoveries by Dove Creek's Cade Hankins and Aiden Gray. Bone-rattling hits by Gray and Mancos Jr. Colt Fury from their linebacker positions also limited the effectiveness of both offenses, as the Mancos defense forced 6 turnovers and the Dove Creek defense forced 4. While gaining positive yardage proved to be at a premium throughout the final 2 quarters, Dove Creek's offense appeared poised to strike gold midway late in the third quarter after a lengthy drive that penetrated deep into Mancos territory. A fumble by junior running back Gage Bailey at the Mancos 23-yard line stymied the Bulldogs' progress, however, and the blue and gold-clad team from deep in farm country was unable to score during the game's final 14 minutes. Dove Creek was led offensively by Kressler, who rushed with 133 yards and a touchdown and threw for 56 yards. Junior Gage Thompson rushed for 52 yards, and Bailey rushed for 49. Gray led the Bulldogs' defense with 15 total tackles, and Beanlin and Walker Kressler each had 1 sack. With its season now complete, For all the teams, Mancus will enter Colorado's 8-man football playoffs as the 6th seed in a 16-team field. The Blue Jays will play at home against the 11th seed Caliche on November 9th. Dove Creek will enter Colorado's 8-man football playoffs as the 13th seeded team and will travel to face number 4 seed Vale Christian High School on November 9th. If the sheer physicality of Friday's contest is any indication, the Blue Jays and the Bulldogs will make their playoff presence felt throughout brute force regardless of Saturday's playoff results. I hope you all enjoyed that night. It really was a fun time out. And now let's take a look at our local weather into this weekend. Today we can enjoy another sunshiny day with a high near 59 degrees, east-southeast winds around 5 miles an hour, becoming west-southwest in the afternoon. Tonight clear with a low around 31 degrees with east winds light at just 5 miles an hour. And Wednesday and the rest of the week we're looking to keep this dry pattern in place with sunny skies and a high near 60 for Wednesday, light east-southeast winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour, shift west-southwest in the afternoon. Wednesday night again mostly clear with a low around 31 degrees. Thursday sunny with a high near 57. Thursday night mostly clear and a low around 28 degrees. Friday that sunshine remains in place with a high temp near 58. Friday night mostly clear with a low around 30 and a terrific fall weekend ahead. Saturday sunny with a high near 60 degrees. Saturday night mostly clear and a low around 29. Sunday sunny with a high near 58. Sunday night mostly clear and a low around 29. And next Monday is Veterans Day, also on tap to be sunny if you have the day off. A note that the president announced that the entire month of November be dedicated to our servicemen and women. And of course, we thank you for your service. And now back to the news. An update on the alleged sexual assault case of Rodney Keller in La Plata County, as reported from the Journal. A mistrial was declared last Thursday in the trial of a Pagosa Springs man suspected of sexually assaulting an 8-year-old girl last year in Bayfield. The trial for Rodney Keller, age 53, began last week. After closing arguments Wednesday afternoon, 12 jurors began deliberation. Around 4 p.m. on Thursday, Deputy District Attorney Sean Murray said jurors could not come to a unanimous decision whether to convict Keller. As a result, a mistrial was declared. Murray said that the district attorney's office will consult with victims and decide before the next court hearing, scheduled for November 7th, whether to retry the case. According to authorities, Keller was invited by an ex-girlfriend to play cards and have drinks at her female friend's house in Bayfield, June 2nd, 2018. At the end of the night, the owner of the house and mother of the alleged victim offered to let Keller spend the night. Keller was supposedly living out of his car in Pagosa Springs. The next morning, the child woke up before her mother and found Keller on the couch. Authorities say Keller spent the morning with the child and eventually gestured for the child to follow him into a guest bedroom where he sexually assaulted her. The girl told her mother about the assault later in the day. Keller denied the allegations to police that same day. In closing arguments Wednesday, Little said that the child fabricated the story because she wanted more attention from her parents. She said the 8-year-old girl's retelling of the alleged assault has been inconsistent. Quote, "It might be hard for a lot of people to imagine why a child might fabricate a story," Little told the jurors. "That's what we have here today." Little said that there is not enough physical evidence to convict Keller, despite DNA evidence found on the girl that showed he was a possible match. Murray said Keller's attorneys have provided no evidence the child made up the story. "This isn't the kind of story a child says to get more attention," Murray said. As to claims of inconsistency, Murray said, "Do you expect consistency from an 8-year-old child? Memories don't work that way." According to authorities, Keller was a registered sex offender. He was arrested after being recognized on, quote, America's Most Wanted for sexual assault on a child in 2008, a charge to which he pleaded guilty. During the course of the trial, jurors heard from the 2008 victim, who was also 8 years old at the time, as was another victim who says Keller sexually assaulted her in 2007 when she was just 6 years old. Last week, the alleged victim in this case was the first witness to take the stand. She said Keller sexually assaulted her in the guest room and told her not to tell anyone. Quote, "But I did the right thing," she testified. "I was assaulted." Reported in the Grand Junction Sentinel with a photo by Napadal Palthong, helping a sage grouse found only in western Colorado and Utah recover its numbers enough to no longer require federal Endangered Species Act protections, apparently will be neither quick nor cheap as an undertaking. A draft recovery plan the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service released this week for the Gunnison sage grouse, now listed federally as a threatened species, estimates that it could take a half a century and more than $500 million worth of efforts to delist the bird. That's $500 million. The bird is found only in 8 western Colorado counties, including Mesa County and Dolores County, supposedly, allegedly, and in one county in eastern Utah. Colorado Parks and Wildlife currently estimates that its total population at something over 3,000. Most Gunnison sage grouse live in the Gunnison Basin. Imagine that, because they're named Gunnison sage grouse. The newly released plan lists numerous actions for helping the species recover. The actions would be developed by the Fish and Wildlife Service collaboratively with federal, state, non-governmental organizations, and local stakeholders, the plan says. Quote, "We estimate that the full implementation of these actions would improve the status of Gunnison sage grouse so that it could be delisted within 50 years following the adoption of this plan," the plan states. The estimated total cost is nearly $561 million, which includes volunteer and in-kind support, as well as financial expenses. The biggest ticket expense is nearly $309 million that would be paid acquiring conservation easements or outright buying private lands. 43% of the bird's currently occupied habitat is on private land. Conservation easements already have been used as a tool for protecting the bird's habitat in the case of its Mesa County population on Pinyon Mesa. Eric Molvar with the Western Watersheds Project Conservation Group said conservation easements are, quote, necessary and helpful in the recovery effort, but only keep habitat from degrading, and efforts also need to be directed towards making habitat better. The draft recovery plan lists measures such as invasive weed treatment and better livestock grazing practices for improving habitat. The Fish and Wildlife Services says that the recovery effort could cost $125 million in the form of Farm Service Agency and Natural Resource Conservation Service programs that can benefit grouse habitat. The draft plan estimates that land use planning could cost $54 million, utility corridor management nearly $29 million, and predator management about $11.3 million. Fish and Wildlife Service spokeswoman Jennifer Strickland pointed to the long time frame covered by the total cost, as opposed to the 5-year cost estimates the plan also contains. It shows, for example, about an $85.7 million cost for the first 5 years. She said in an email that for folks who care about the bird and its recovery, breaking down the cost into smaller chunks may help people see the big picture a lot better. Or a bit better. The Bureau of Land Management manages about 42% of the Gunnison sage grouse's occupied habitat. Conservation groups argue that the Fish and Wildlife Service and BLM are working at cross purposes, with the BLM providing inadequate habitat safeguards in its management plans, including its proposed plan for the lands covered by its Uncompahgre field office. The Colorado Department of Natural Resources has raised the same concern with that plan. The Fish and Wildlife Service's draft recovery plan says that the BLM, quote, is a critical partner in the Gunnison sage grouse's recovery. And today's High Canyon Country happenings. FFA in Dolores County, Dove Creek, is working with The Rock, reaching out to community and kids to hopefully stuff a horse trailer full of clean, gently used blankets and coats, canned goods, and unwrapped toys. They will be offering free chili and hot chocolate, and the date for this drive is Saturday, November 7th from 4:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Rock Outreach Building at 128 East Highway 491. Thank you in advance if you can help or participate. November 8th or 9th, the Granary in Monticello is hosting 1920s Gangster Murder Mystery Nights. Have you ever wanted to play real-life Clue? Well, here's your chance. Come join our 1920s Gangster Murder Mystery November 8th or 9th, they say. The price is $140 per couple and includes 2 personalized murder mystery characters, fully interactive 3 to 4 hour game, fully catered 3-course dinner, and non-alcoholic drinks. Contact Jen to reserve your spot at 435-713-5805. Native American Heritage Month is being celebrated at the Dolores Public Library with movie matinees. It starts today on the 5th, also on the 13th and the 21st, and they start at noon. The Dolores Public Library is celebrating with 3 different movie matinees about Native American culture and history. Everyone is welcome. Refreshments will be provided. That's located at 1002 Railroad Avenue in Dolores. For more details, you can call them at 970-882-4127. And I post up all of these High Canyon Country happenings on our Facebook page, which is DCTV News at Noon. So you can look up the phone numbers and the dates. We also upload the daily news to our YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to and search for with the same name, DCTV News at Noon. And the broadcast is also posted to our general Facebook page, where we add links to stories of interest, share other events or news, and where you can join in on the conversation too. This is your local community TV station. So if you have something you'd like to share, contact us by email. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com, or you can call the station and leave a message if we're not here at 970-677-4119. Thank you for tuning in. News at Noon now airs at noon Monday through Friday and is rebroadcast each day in the afternoon at 2 and 6 p.m. and then the following morning at 9 a.m. And then it's available online on demand on our YouTube channel and DCTV News at Noon Facebook page. And we would ask if you could like us there. If you do, at least follow us and share it with your friends and family. This has been a production of DCTV for the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Thank you for watching.